Hey everybody, here's a quick video to remind you about different types of research designs, between and within designs. In your module, there is a PowerPoint that goes over some reminders about research designs in general. I am skipping ahead several slides to talk just about the difference between and within designs. Experimental methods can be divided into two main camps, within and between. Between designs ask the question, is there a difference between these things? For a t-test, remember we're only studying two things, so there'd be two groups, group 1 and group 2. And we're asking, is there a difference between them? Nobody in group 1 is also in group 2. The groups are separate from each other. And group 1 will probably be given something different than group 2. That's the levels. So group 1 gets one thing, group 2 gets something else, and we're trying to see, does that cause a difference between those two groups? The other type of design is within. Within designs looks within a single group, but that group is tested over multiple periods. Again, for a t-test, there's only two measurement points. So this would be the same group, and I'm going to give them maybe a pre and a post test. That's only two tests. So maybe everybody comes into my study, I give them a pre-test to establish a baseline, something happens to everybody in the group, and then I give them a post-test to see if there are changes within the group based on their post-test scores. So that's the most basic differences between and within designs. This is a really good graphic representation. Now, note that there are three groups down here. If there are three groups, then this is not a t-test. This would be a kind of a ANOVA, and we'll get to that in the next unit. But it clearly shows how you have a sample of participants, and those samples are divided into three equal groups, and those groups are given different treatment conditions, and then we're trying to find out, is there a difference between these groups? This is where random assignment comes in. Random assignment would be how I might assign these participants to each of the different groups. Random assignment is used to attempt to make the groups more equivalent or comparable. If I just took the first 10, then perhaps everyone who arrived early is actually different than the last 10, everyone who arrived late. And thus, because they're different, just because some people are early and some people are late, that might actually end up being a confounding variable for my study. So I want to make sure that the way that people get assigned is much more regimented than that. In a within subjects design, again, we start with one sample of participants, and then they are measured after several treatments. Again, you can see that there are three measurement points here, and so that again would be a type of ANOVA as opposed to a t-test where there's only two. In a t-test, again, one sample of participants might come in, maybe we give them a pre-test, then a treatment condition, and then a post-test to see if there are changes within this sample after their first treatment. And within samples, everyone is exposed to all of the levels of the IV. These are important questions that you can ask yourself when you're presented with examples. Can someone in group 1 be also in group 2, or are the groups separate from each other and receive different things? Then that's clearly between. If I am getting all of the different types of treatment, all of the different kinds of levels of the IV, then it's within. So why do we have all of these different designs? Isn't there one that's better? No, in fact, the design that we pick is based on the question that we're asking. Some designs are better fit than others for certain situations. There is no perfect research design. If there was, it would be the only one that we use. So instead, we have ones that are tailor fit for certain situations. The next two slides on this PowerPoint show you what some of the advantages and disadvantages are of each type. The advantages for between happen to be the disadvantage from within. The advantages from within are the disadvantages for between. They're just flip of each other. And again, they're fit for special situations. Hopefully that gives you a good introduction to these types of designs. I encourage you to read more in the PowerPoint and always use the FAQ board if you are confused. I'll see you on the internet.